All right, so today it's rainy and windy, still windy, so I'm gonna do this inside. All right, so today I want to talk about owning yourself. I believe that you gotta own yourself, otherwise you will just hate life. All right, you will always hate life unless you own yourself. All right, so you gotta do whatever makes you you gotta be your own boss. You gotta do your strengths, not just what you love, but you gotta do something that you're good at as well. All right, that's what's going to bring you satisfaction and health, wealth, and so forth. You need to own yourself, otherwise someone else is always going to be your boss, always going to be above you. You don't have any control, and control is very important here for us here. So being your own boss is essential. You got to be your own boss. You got to be a leader. You got to be resilient, and so forth. That's why recently I've thought a lot about Nietzsche's "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." The quote is from Nietzsche, and I know that Hitchens didn't believe in that at the end of his life, but no wonder he was poisoning himself. Nietzsche was against alcohol and smoking and all that stuff. So that's such an, obvious thing. But what he meant was he was climbing mountains in Switzerland and so forth. So you gotta go outside and become tougher. Gotta face the cold, the ice cold, but also intellectually. He means that both literally, he was doing that, but not just that. He's talking about being cold, and it's pretty lonely up there, but it's also beautiful, and there is some wisdom there. All right, so it's unique, but so you gotta own yourself. He also speaks of owning yourself and so forth. There are others who speak of owning themselves. All right, so, but it is super important not to be a slave to everyone else. All right, gotta be your own boss. Otherwise, you will always be a slave. And we're against being slaves. We're individuals here. We love our individuality, our uniqueness. We seek, our strength lies in that. All right. So I was thinking of this while I was training this morning. So I did my pull-ups again. I'm back to pull-ups and doing them properly now that I'm home. And so I exhausted myself, but it was rainy. It was super rainy and windy as well. But you just don't care. You know your higher desire, you focus on your higher desire, which is a greater body, but also obviously health. Actually, that is the underlying reason. Health is the ultimate reason, all right? Some people might not find motivation through that, but you need to find motivation through health. Otherwise, aesthetics will only reach thus far. Health, you could always take a different step and improve, so to speak, your health. All right. So Nietzsche, he was obviously ill almost all his life, but so that's not something we should, embrace there. But also that illness taught him something. It gave him a different kind of wisdom. All right. So it is in some sense important. Without that illness, he wouldn't have been Friedrich Nietzsche, right? He would have been someone else. So it is important. That's why I spoke yesterday of all your illnesses, all your diseases, everything. First off, everything can be fixed. Everything can be fixed because every problem has a solution, all right? I truly believe in that. Every problem has a solution. Ever since I discovered fasting, I believe in that strongly. You can fix basically everything. All right. So there's some cops there. Maybe they're after me. Oh my God. All right. So, okay. So yeah, training today was, now it is true that, speaking of training, that you're actually releasing dopamine and so forth while you're training and so forth. So a true dopamine fast would be, of course, eliminating everything. But, and I think I mentioned that in the ultimate dopamine fast, but because you remove books and everything. But the thing is, that's not the main issue today, obviously. A lot of people are obese. Half the population is obese. Well, it depends on where you are from, but so, or more than half. But so yeah, you gotta own yourself. Otherwise, you will start hating yourself. Okay, you'll hate your boss, your work, everything. Even if it's work that you wouldn't otherwise have hated, you might hate, because you can't control things. All right, you don't have to. We're not speaking of control freaks here, but we want control because that gives us, it gives you also responsibility. You start taking responsibility for your own life. You can't excuse anyone, you can't blame anyone. You have to take everything into your own, space, your own responsibility. All right. So if something goes wrong, it's ultimately your fault. But it's ultimately your fault. I know that it's boring to film inside, but what are you gonna do? Well, I could have gone outside, but I want to get this done quickly. All right? Well, not too quickly, but I still want to talk about something that's, in some sense, it is a bit easier, just to quickly analyze this. It is a bit easier to walk and think, and I might get some new ideas, more inspiration and so forth. Of course, I can watch out the window here, but that's not the same thing, not even close. Like the bird I saw yesterday and so forth. It's like almost a whole experience. And life is about experiences, both deep and satisfying, and like today. Now, yeah, so the training released dopamine. You can almost feel it. Once you start living minimally, ascetic humanism, as I call it right now, because we live ascetically, but still we still retain and embrace our humanity. We never repress, we never deny any emotion and feeling and so forth. We actually channel it properly, in a proper way, in a proper manner. Even hatred and anger can be channeled properly. That's why I think modern stoicists, they're ridiculous. No psychologist would say that you should keep it within yourself today. So, and they always speak of, oh yeah, modern psychology is inspired by stoicism. Yeah, right. Like a friend of mine, he used to say there is a blogger, and he's a highly intelligent guy. He always speaks of stoicism as a fascist. The fascists love this idea and so forth. But so yeah, there is some tendency there. Now, some people might say Nietzsche also had some tendencies there, but we can speak of that perhaps another day. But I'll just quickly say that Nietzsche is much more subtle. It's not about loving the past. It's about discovering that there existed in the past a greatness, great culture, and he wants that to be revived in the future. Not the same thing, but a new thing, but still in the same spirit, so to speak. If people understand that, like the Renaissance, for example, and before Socrates, the pre-Socratics, so to speak. He loved Napoleon and so forth. Because Napoleon was like an anomaly, like a greatness. We can't deny his greatness. All right, so we can't deny it, even if we disagree with dictatorship and so forth. But we're not about politics here. We're about self-improvement, self-discovery, and so forth. But obviously, all of this is part of it. We gather information from every source we can get. So, and we stitch everything together, create our new selves, remove your old self. If you don't like your old self, you remove it. This is ownership, all right? You own yourself, own thyself, okay? You control everything. You control your behavior, you remove everything you don't want, you don't need, remove the books you don't need, remove everything. Don't go after the mainstream, go opposite of everything that's mainstream, basically. Don't be a slave to the whole, culture, the whole society, all right? Be yourself. Be yourself, all right? It is extremely important. And don't just ape people and their opinions, all right? That's what I saw a lot in politics. That's why it's a waste of time also, because you got to think deeper about these things if you want to be a career politician, or, well, actually, if you want to be a career politician, that's a whole different story. But if you want to be a political philosopher, you got to think much more deeply, okay? If you want to take it seriously and so forth, not just be a hobby, You can create something out of that. You could create a online magazine and so forth, or YouTube or whatever, all right? So there is so many, there is an infinite opportunities, all right? So it's not even nearly reached its potential, full potential, all right? The same way movies didn't reach their full potential in the late 1800s or 1900s. 1895 and onwards. All right, so okay, so gotta finish this video before the cops gets to me. All right, so what else? Okay, you gotta own yourself. To love yourself, you gotta love the process. And you love the process you do what you love, obviously, but it also has to, like I spoke of in the alignment video, you gotta align your strength with something that you can love. So for example, I found my training. Let's take my own example here, like early example. So I started with lifting weights, and then I started with lifting weights. Then I changed to calisthenics because one my shoulder was starting to hurt again. But then I discovered fasting also, so I dry fasted, and now that's true fasting there. Dopamine fasting is nothing compared to dry fasting. All right, so you dry fast, and that would be an ultimate dopamine fast. You dry fast and you do nothing when you dry fast for 3 days, let's say. So that would be the ultimate dopamine, ultimate fast in general. All right, but you can't do that for too long, especially if you don't have a lot of fat on your body. All right, so I changed myself. I obviously completely owning myself. No one else is telling me what to do. So I listened to my body, like increasingly I listened to my body. My instincts got better and better, and now they're great, and they're just improving all the time. Every day they're improving. All right, so no one is, but so I changed to calisthenics again after 3 months of lifting weights because It was much more fun. And then like last year in November or October, I felt like, yeah, I'm gonna lift something here, but it's not gonna be the dumbbells I'm gonna lift. I'm gonna lift the whole thing, like the whole package with the dumbbells in it. So, and that was a bit fun, but I just do it occasionally. It's not something I do all the time. But some people love the gym. Some people love lifting weights, and that's fine as well. All right. So you can choose lifting weights instead of calisthenics. You don't have to do calisthenics and so forth. But you own yourself in each step, in each way. You do meditation that you like, not that what I like. You do, but you can try whatever I like. You can try it out. You should try out basically as much as you can, so that you know what exists out there. That's why I believe in reading everything or all subjects and everything, so that you are aware of everything that exists. All right, that's important. Okay, you should know things. Everything that exists, you should know, because knowledge is truly power. All right, but in each area of life, also in business and stuff. So, and truly there, I mean, if you know how to create a business, now that's power. All right, but you got to have the knowledge there to create a business. And you create a business. That's the ultimate owning yourself. You create your own business, your own philosophy, you create your own friends, you create your own self, you create your own habits, patterns. That's why I love what Steve Jobs said when there is a YouTube video, I think, when he says, all these people out there, they have their own idea what life is supposed to be, but don't follow these people. Don't listen to what the mainstream says. That's basically what he says. He says, create your own life. You can define life as you define it, instead of what everyone else defines it. That's the whole purpose here. I define my own life. You define your life. I can guide you, but you define it. All right. You create the new self. I have myself and you have yourself. It's not the same self. And that's why I stopped listening that's why I also use asceticism. I also use minimalism to cut out all other voices. Like Nietzsche says in Ecce Homo, you cut out these voices, all these selves. Stop reading a lot of books and so forth. You listen to your own self and so forth. And you can reach wisdom through your own self as well, not just by reading other people and their experiences and thoughts and opinions and so forth. All right. So you create your own business, you own yourself totally. Okay. So if your business fails, that's you. Okay. There is something there you got to work on. But the same goes for calisthenics, for example. If I fail reaching some results, then I'm doing something wrong. No one else can do the push-ups for me, the pull-ups for me, the squats for me. No one can do those. And also I decide what purpose I'm training for, like building muscles, for example, and being functional, but I'm not after tricks and so forth. But some people love doing some tricks and stuff. So that's fine. All right. But then you can create a business out of that, for example, and so forth. So there is so much you can do. But you own yourself there. All right. So, and you learn and you gain new experience. And actually, I have this cookie. I always have this with me. Otherwise, I never collect anything, but I still keep this from a fortune cookie. It says, you don't need talent to gain experience. And it's pretty good. You can gain experience still. I'm not like some calisthenics freak, and I still have some experience now. So I could actually teach people calisthenics and fasting and a lot of things. You learn a lot of skills. Once you work on yourself, you learn a lot of new skills. and you can learn even more. And you can always improve and learn more. All right, so that's it for today. If you have any problems with this, you can reach me. The email is down below. It's also in the About page. You can see what I'm about there as well. But it should be enough to just watch a couple of videos of mine and get the picture of what I'm about. So, and if it's unclear, or if you have any questions or specific questions and you want answered, or a problem or something regarding this, all these things, you can reach me down below, and I will answer every comment. Perhaps I'll film outside tomorrow. Let's hope so. I love filming outside instead. That's why I have this gimbal. It's not just for for fun. All right. Even though I love this. This is a lot of fun. All right. So see ya tomorrow.